Hi guys, welcome to Bookstone, getting to know the books world better. Today we're going to read a book called Bollywood Burglary from the series of Geronimo Stilton. So it's a small story of Geronimo going to India and running an errands for a childhood friend called Ratna Prem. So let's go and find out why and what happened to him there. Let's go in. 17 Spice Street. That day began like any other. It seemed like a perfectly normal day, in fact. But it turned out to be one of the most incredible, most fantastic days of my life. By the time I put my snout back on my pillow that night, my life had changed forever. Oh, excuse me. I almost forgot to introduce myself. My name is Stilton, Geronimo Stilton, and I'm the editor of the Rodents Gazette, the most famous newspaper on Mouse Island. Yeah, now where was I? Oh, yes, my morning began like any other. I climbed out of my bed and scampered into my office. Once I got settled on my desk, I started brainstorming. I had to come up with an idea for a new series of books. Should I write a book on gardening? Or do-it-yourself projects? Or sports? Or I thought and thought and thought. But by lunchtime, I was still thinking. And then something strange happened. I glanced out of the window, and there was a small plane towing a banner. Right outside, right outside my office. Visit India, it said. That was unusual. The mailbox came and left me 94 travel brochures about India. That was a bit odd. A second later, the phone rang and a strange rodent squeaked. My dear Stilton, how about a trip to India? I'll give you a discount. Thanks, but I think I'll pass, I answered. But then I got an email with a weird invitation. A message from Mr. Stilton. Would you like to try a delectable assortment of delicious dishes? Come to Taj Mahal Indian Restaurant, 17 Spice Street. It will be whisker-licking good. That was a wee bit bizarre. But on the other part, it was lunchtime, and I was hungry. I didn't want to think twice about food, so I hailed a taxi and headed towards 17 Spice Street. When my cab screeched up to the curb, I spotted a fabulous painted wooden door and smelled an intriguing array of spices. Yummy, yum, yum! It sure smelled whisker-licking good. So this is the restaurant where Geronimo got the email from. Steam's coming out of my ears. As soon as I entered the restaurant, a waiter with thick fur and shiny whiskers scurried over. Yoo-hoo! Welcome, my dear Stilton. Have you ever been to India? He asked. No, not yet, I answered. But that's absolutely elementary. You are thinking of going then, he said. Actually, no, I replied. Actually, yes, you will be soon. Very soon, in fact. Let's make a bet. I bet that you'll go to India. Then the waiter waved a sheet of paper under my snout. Now sign right here, Stilton. I was flabbergasted. No restaurant had ever asked me to pay the bill before I'd even ordered my meal. But I was hungrier than a rat in a cheese shop. I couldn't wait to sit down and eat. So I signed. I took a better look at the waiter. There was something familiar about his snout. He also had a squeaky voice that reminded me of someone. Have we met before? I asked. No, the waiter replied. Whatever gave you that idea, my dear Stilton? He pushed me toward the table, back of the room. The restaurant was lovely. The walls were covered with red silk tapestries, embroidered in gold. And there was a mousetastic fountain at the center of the dining area. Delectable aromas of the famous Indian music filled the air. Waiters scurried around with trays loaded with yummy dishes. I saw chicken tikka masala, chicken with creamy tomato sauce and spices, and samosas, stuffed fried pastries. I glanced at the menu. I'd like, but the waiter ripped the menu off my paws. You don't know much about Indian food, Mr. Stilton, he snorted. Let me choose for you. Do you like spicy food? Yes, I do, I admitted, but not too spicy. The waiter ran off shouting, I'll bring you a meal then knock your tail off. It'll be very hot. As he disappeared in the kitchen, I heard him squeak, a spicy one for the rodent in the rear, heavy on hot pepper. That'll make his whisker do the loop-the-loop. 5 minutes later, he returned with a tray of steaming dishes. Try the one with hot pepper, he ordered. I tasted the first dish. It was hot. I tasted the second. It was very hot. Then I tasted the third dish. It was extremely hot. I wanted to stop, but the waiter kept shoving spoonfuls into my snout. Let's see how much this customer can take before he bursts, he cried gleefully. I couldn't take it anymore. One more bite, Mr. Stilton, he insisted. By the time you're in India, you'll be used to hot peppers. But I'm not going to India. Oh, but you will go to India, he insisted. Wanna bet on it? When he shoved a dollop from his dish, number 10 into my mouth, steam started coming out of my ears. Smoking samosas, that was one for raising hot pepper. I'm burning up, I screeched. I ran to the fountain and dunked my whole head into it. I heard a sizzle. When I returned to my table, the waiter asked, So when are we going to India? I'm out too busy, okay? I shouted, busy, very busy. I can't possibly go to India. Don't be a fly in the fondue. The waiter was disappointed. Geronimo, you're such a forebrain, he scolded me. I was really hoping you'd go to India with me. And that's when I recognized him. You're not a waiter. You're my detective friend, Hercule Poirot. I cried. Ha ha ha. So it's Hercule Poirot? First name Hercule, last name Poirot. Geronimo is childhood friend. Profession, private investigator. She runs a detective agency in New Mouse City. Hercule loves mysteries in the way mice love cheese. He likes to play tricks, especially on Geronimo. His disguises are famously unpredictable. His He's disguised himself as a flight attendant, a gift box, and even an ice cream cone. His passion, bananas. He loves them, but Geronimo hates them. Poor Rat pulled off his wig and ripped the slick mustache from his snout. Yes, it is I, Poirot, Hercule Poirot, and you simply must go to India with me. I shook my snout. I can't go India with you. I'm too busy, Hercule. I've told you over and over again. Poirot started to sob. Yes, my dear Stilton, you did tell me several times. In fact, but I need your help. Please, I'm begging you. I rolled my eyes. Poirot must have noticed because he changed tactics. He dried his tears on my jacket sleeve and blew his nose on my tie. So do you have your passport on you? He asked calmly. We could leave right now. By this time, I was annoyed. I'm sorry, but I simply cannot go. My dear Stilton, why must you be so stubborn? He squeaked loudly. Don't you want to go to India? Every snout in the restaurant turned to look at me. Is that Geronimo Stilton? Why doesn't he want to go to India? Does he dislike India? But why? No, it's not. I don't have anything against India. I'm sure I love it there. I cried in exasperation. He said he'd love it there, Hercule shouted, faster than a mouse who ran up the clock. He reached into my pocket and pulled out my passport. How positively banana-rific. You and I are going to India, Jerry Kings. Don't be such a fly in the fondue. You've run out of excuses. Look, I found your passport. Still haven't said why I have to go to India. Can you please just tell me? He pulled out a photo and glanced at it mysteriously. Do you recognize this rodent? Look closely. I saw this beautiful snout of an Indian mouselet. I didn't recognize. It's Ratna, Hercule squeaked. Ratna? Dear Ratna? I repeated. A million memories flooded my snout. Ratna was an old and dear friend from Mausoleum. She and Hercule and I had attended Little Tail Academy together. It was a sad day for us when she and her family moved back to India. These are the memories Geronimo, Hercule, and Ratna had. Then that's the end. Do you want the second part of this book? Then subscribe to our channel and like, share, and comment. Thank you.